Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, has been speaking to pension funds and trying to reassure them that, for example, we should be, or they should be, investing in startup companies, small startup companies, as well as the bigger projects. But there must be great uncertainty at the moment, given the failure to follow through the HS2 rail project. And he says we should learn from the way HS2 has been handled as it sought to attract investment from, among others, the British pension industry. And the government needs to learn, the pension industry needs to learn, big projects need to learn. What do they need to learn? I suppose the thing they need to learn is that the government is not trustworthy. I don't think that's a particularly good lesson for anybody to learn. Uh, it's extraordinary that it should be the Chancellor who should be saying, you cannot trust us. We're not trustworthy. Don't commit yourselves to us. In the end, if the government is not trustworthy, if the government's word cannot be taken as sound, how do we trust anything the government is offering? How do we trust its plans on education? How do we trust its plans on policing? How do we trust its plans on the army, on our security, our defence? How do we trust anything? Because this government has demonstrated in the last year that it wants to, as Suella Braverman says, test the limits of the law, and she's the person who imposes those limits. It doesn't want to honour the commitments that it's made, and it's concerned that people are out of control. It's concerned about curtailing our free speech, our free expression, and making new laws on the hoof to respond to crises which, in the end, we have to admit have been caused by this government's indecision and this government's lack of clarity. This isn't the way to run a country. And while I think Rishi Sunak is probably the most intelligent Prime Minister we've had in decades, he's come at the wrong time. He's come at the tail end of catastrophe, and even an intelligent Prime Minister isn't capable of salvaging our sanity at this moment. Partly because he relies on support and on the services of a series of complete nitwits, one of whom is running the Home Office, one of whom is running the Treasury, and I'm afraid in any other situation Jeremy Hunt might be acceptable. In this situation he's not. He's a limp excuse for inanity. As for Suella Braverman, I run out of words to describe her failure. Because in the end, Suella Braverman is indescribable. She hasn't done anything. All she has done is to repeat the mantra of others. Now, should she be punished for that? Well, I think when we're looking for a Home Secretary, we're looking for somebody who takes control, for somebody who assumes responsibility, and for somebody who knows what they're doing. In none of those instances is Suella Braverman described. She doesn't take control. She repeats what other people have told her. And she doesn't really know what she's doing. And Rishi Sunak depends on her to keep the right wing occupied. He thinks that this is the way forward. In this instance, Rishi Sunak is a fool. And why is he here? Why is he in this position? Because he hasn't got the experience, the long-term experience of politics, to know how to deal with this sort of situation. I feel sorry for Rishi. I feel sorry for us.